going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Day 3. So whether you're watching now or later, thank you for joining me today. I am Terry Ann Hyman. I'm the host of the Empowered Spirit Program, as well as Soul Messages, a brand new show with Ethereal Network on. I have been confirmed on Amazon TV, as well as Roku and soon to be Apple. So check it out. It's a new network coming on. I think right now it's still free. Soon it will be paying channel, but go ahead and check it out. I am also celebrating my 10th anniversary of Confessions of a Shower Tapper, the ultimate guide to living your purpose with EFT. And as I've shared, Reiki saved my life, but tapping saved my business and continues to help me in so many ways. In fact, I am also celebrating a new book coming out, which is really based on the work that we're doing right here, right now. Confessions of an Emotional Eater, Shapeshifting Your Relationship with Food and Yourself. So I'm so excited to bring this forward. And this is partly why I'm doing this, as well as to show you how I work. This is part of my private mentoring, how I work with all the tools to bring this forward and what I call caring for the soul. So in summer, we do come out, and this is kind of the emphasis of this program here, although we'll be talking about it as the holidays come back around too, the emotional eating that we do at the holidays. But welcome, welcome, welcome. So today is all about cravings. Do you have them? What are they? And what are they really, really about? What's the difference between a craving and an addiction? Big question there too. So before we jump in, let's take a moment. Let's center. Let's return to that vision we set. We need practice, right? Neuroscience shows us we have to keep repeating in order to hold the vision, hold that vibration. Maybe it shifts, and that's a good thing, right? Shape-shifting. Maybe it shifts a little bit. Maybe you have a more realistic goal right now or a vision, but we want to come back to that higher vibration to help us hold this, to help us follow this intuitively, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all of those ways in which we can show up with that vision. So let's take a moment to begin. Taking a nice deep inhale. Lighting some fire if you can. If you can, close your eyes as well. Exhale, releasing that breath all the way down. Slowing down. Inhale, expanding the breath up the body. And exhale, calling all those sacred elements in. The fire, the air, the earth, the water. We are composed of all of those sacred elements. Taking another deep inhale. And exhale, dropping right into the heart. Right into the deepest part of your heart. Feel that connection, your spirit and the greater spirit. Know that you are loved, guided, protected. Feeling all this energy coming in around us as we set this space. We call in our Reiki masters, teachers that have come before us, sending Reiki out. We call on the angels to open our hearts with joy and love, especially for ourselves and those around us. We call in the crystal beings for amusement, magnification, to help us hold this vibration of our vision. Now calling in your higher self right above the crown to align right into the heart, the higher self, to help you receive the messages, the understanding that we will uncover today. Taking another deep inhale. And exhale right here in the deepest part of your heart, connecting back to that vision that you set for you. See yourself showing up, looking good, feeling good, happy, strong, empowering that vision. Hold that vibration. Take another deep inhale and exhale. Feel yourself stepping into it. See and hear and know and trust this vibration for you, your vision, your light. One more deep inhale. Gathering all that energy up. Shokure, shokure, shokure. Empowering you right here, right now. Bringing the awareness back. Grounding your energy. Coming back. So what are you noticing about holding that vision for you? The more we do it, the easier it becomes, right? So today, the subject is cravings. What are they? What do you crave? What do you notice? Most people crave like cookies, that's me, or chocolate. I've healed the addiction with chocolate. We'll talk about it if you want. But cookies is one of the things, especially around the holidays, that just really can get out of control if I'm not careful, right? I also like licorice. That's a sugar addiction. Now, I've healed most of my sugar addiction. I have the white sugars. I do honey. I do maple syrup. But sugar can be an addictive substance because it does trigger the blood sugar, trigger the body. Cookies generally have other things in it, like, eggs and almond flour. I use a lot of almond flour. So we do have some more value to that than just white sugar, candy. That used to be mine, candy, right? But the difference between a craving and an addiction. So a craving is a strong, often transient desire, meaning it comes and goes. I gotta have it. I gotta have those cookies. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Now, an addiction is a long-term pattern of giving in to those cravings as enduring behaviors that persist over time. Let's say that again. An addiction is a long-term pattern of giving in to those cravings and enduring behavior that persists over time, meaning the more we give in to the cravings, the more it becomes an addiction, right? So the thing that we want to do is discover what is that connection to the craving, to wanting that food, to having to have it, and to then sabotaging ourselves. So we all know that instant gratification feels good. Dopamine hits. I mean, that's kind of why we scroll too, but that scrolling doesn't get us anywhere either. Then we just stay up later and eat more, right? Yeah, same idea. So when you have that instant gratification, you feel good, but then a cookie jar later, you don't feel so good, right? So as I share in the book, I do have an issue with cookies. I love them. I couldn't have cakes, couldn't have ice cream, but cookies seem to slide by me a little bit easier, and I love them. But as I began to notice what is that connection, it began to help me tame that. So yeah, I can have some cookies at the holidays, but I don't have to eat the whole jar now. I don't have to eat the whole cookie tin. I was talking to cookie tins, right? People bring me cookies. Some of them are just beautifully baked. I love them. They're my favorite. But I can now have more control because of tapping. All right. Now, I also talk about, which is more of an addiction because it's sugar, licorice. I love licorice. I love it. And so it actually is that feeling. Got to have licorice. Got to have licorice. And it's not just have it once. That's key. I want more. I eat the whole bag. I want more. I go back. I make a point of going to this one particular fresh market here in Birmingham that sells just so many choices of licorice. You can go in and do your own bags of scoops, right? Buy what you want, right? And so, yeah, and sometimes before I even get home, it's gone and I want to go back. So that is an addiction. When you have to have it, you go about, roundabout, turn around, head to the store. And what I noticed with the licorice was that it was happening on like Friday nights. All right, Friday nights, end of my week. I'm tired. I want to get home, and I always pass this store. Close enough anyway. Maybe not that close, but close enough. And there I go. I want to get licorice. And I want to consume that bag of licorice. Have you ever had that? So when I finally started looking at this and what this was really about, I started noticing two things because that is what is important. What is the connection? Because really, I asked a question like, does my body need licorice? Because there are some good benefits to licorice. Well, maybe it needs a little bit of it, not this much, right? So I started asking, what does this remind me of? Why do I have to have it? So one night after I'd eaten most of the bag, I had a little bit more. I put the bag in front of me and I said, okay, what is this showing me? Like, why do I have to have it? And I started just closing my eyes and dreaming into a little bit and breathing and slowing down. And I noticed a couple of things. One, I was tired and stressed. I just wanted something to eat. It was late. I teach yoga. So I'm not that stressed, but I think it's more hungry. But I also think too, because I come home on a Friday night by myself. Lonely. All right? Yes, I admit, I do. And I mean, sometimes it's good because I can just do what I want, but there is that little bit of like driving back and forth that reminds you that you're on your own, right? And so that's what we want to notice. Now, where was that association of driving in the car and wanting to get the licorice? I go a little deeper. And what comes up? Do a little tapping, right? And right here, tapping. I'm tapping and I'm going, oh, my dad. Where did I first start liking licorice? My dad. My dad loves licorice. and he and I would share licorice. He used to work at a place called GES. It was kind of like an early Walmart here in Birmingham. And he was the optical shop. He had the optical shop. And so in there was this candy, like in the store where you get to pick all the ones you want, put it in a bag, take it home. He always brought it home to us. And he always kept it in his car. And so as I started going in there and tapping and feeling those sensations, it's like, yeah, sharing that moment with my dad, that thrill of opening the glove box and having some to eat on my way home or wherever we were going. That's what it was. That was the connection I kept making and kept longing to do. Now, the tapping on that, and this is really important, the tapping on that is what helped me to break that apart. Because here, that's the gap. I'm in the gap. I'm missing my dad. I'm associating the gap, the dad, the candy, the sugar, the licorice. Black licorice, strawberry licorice, those pastel-y licorice, good and plenty licorice, right? You know what I mean, maybe. But once I started breaking it apart through gap tapping and recognizing, you know what, I can still love my dad. And when this habit occurs, when this behavior comes up, instead of giving into the licorice, I can take a moment and I can say, thank you for showing up. Thank you, Dad. I do love you. It's like a memory of him. So bring it in and switch, shape shift that connection that you've made. Okay, I love you, Dad. Thanks for showing up. I love you so much. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat and go to bed. Thank you so much. And not have to have the licorice, because ultimately, what am I looking for? What are we all looking for? Love, connection, feeling love, missing people, feeling love, right? And so now I can have that same idea, and the more I can gap tap on it, the more I can associate just being in the car on a Friday night, thinking of my dad. And I can open the glove box. Maybe I'll put something healthier in there, right? I do. Not necessarily in the glove box, but I bring an apple or bring a piece of fruit for after yoga. And that helps me. So this is the part that we want to switch. We don't need that licorice or that sugar or that cookie to remember to love us. And cookies for me is baking them with my children. We have a favorite. Now my son bakes them, but oatmeal lace. He actually makes really good macadamia and chocolate chip cookies too. But that's part of it too. So that memory, as we break it apart, becomes remembering when the kids were little, we baked cookies, we had fun, we had laughter. So I can break that apart too and still love my kids, love that memory, but I don't have to eat the whole box. And I don't have to bake as much because people bring me cookies, right? But I can savor the moment of enjoying the cookies and stop. That is key. And that's what cravings are. Stop it. Don't let it become the addiction. So that's what we want to do. We want to get in the gap. We want to notice what are those associations. So I know last year I was working with one of my clients, and she had a thing with popcorn at work because in one of her most favorite jobs, she sat by a popcorn machine was outside the office, and they always had popcorn popping through the day. And so now she is working differently, working at home, and she's got to have that munch, that salt, because it reminded her of that, and that's what we broke it apart. Once we broke that association, got in the gap, shape-shifted it out, she didn't have to do it. And so that created ability for her to stop the snacking, whether it was popcorn or chips or pretzels or whatever. Pretzels is another one for me that I've tamed too. What is it for you? So I want to do a little tapping on this. Notice for you. If you want to put in the chat what it is for you. Chocolate. Yeah, chocolate I didn't mention. Chocolate is a big one for a lot of people. I will tell you the way to heal a chocolate is to start eating dark chocolate. I put unsweetened cocoa in my coffee every morning, no calories, but it gives me those B vitamins. It gives me that, cocoa, real like the raw cacao, helps to ground you. No calories, right? I do a little maple syrup in my coffee. All right, that's a whole nother subject, which I'll be happy to share. But it takes away all of those like Butterfinger, Baby Ruths, all that Halloween candy, right? That can start at Halloween. I talk about that too. So yeah, chocolate too, cookies, yeah. Licorice, all right. So licorice is one we'll do. All right, so let's just work with licorice, sugar, cravings, and notice what comes up for you. So as we go to begin, notice where that distress level is between 1 and 10, like up there. Yeah, like I'm craving something for lunch, right? Take a nice deep inhale. And just notice that you are showing up, taking full responsibility for yourself. And we'll begin right here at the karate chop. Repeat after me. So even though I have some cravings, I choose to love and accept myself. So even though I have many cravings, but I choose to accept where I am. So even though I love my cookies, I love my licorice, but I choose to love and accept myself no matter what. Point to point, I love my cookies. So there, I gotta have them. I love my oatmeal cookies, my ginger cookies. I love all cookies. I want them. They make me feel better. But I really love licorice. I love that sugar. I know it's not good for me, but I can't help it. I'm tired. I deserve it. I've worked hard. Just give it to me. I want it now. I want it right now. I'm going to go get it right now. I'm just going to eat it all. Who cares? I'm just going to eat it all. I had a good week. I had a busy week. I deserve it. Why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I know why not. I won't feel so good tomorrow or later tonight because I can't stop. Because I just keep eating it and wanting it and wanting it. For me, I like to eat it when, what is it for you? Fill that in. I'm driving in my car. And so I notice that it helps me calm down. It helps me not feel so lonely. It helps me remember those that I love, the memories. That's why I have a craving. So right here, take a moment right here at our collarbone. Take a breath and just notice like what comes up for you. What is connected with your craving? Is it a memory of someone that's no longer here? Is it a memory of a time gone by? Is it because of stress? Stress is a big one. Bored? So notice what that is for you. Take a deep breath. Let's continue tapping. Say your words, all right? Say your words if they don't match mine. So I recognize that I have this connection with my craving and my dear dad. We loved eating it together. And I miss him. So why not? It makes me remember him. And I won't remember him if I don't have the licorice. I won't be able to feel his love if I don't have this. So I'm going to have it. So I can have it and feel his love. Because I am feeling lonely. I'm feeling stressed. I'm tired. It's a long week. So I'm going to have it. Because if I don't have this craving, this food, name it, then I'm just going to stay miserable. I'm not going to be any happier, feel any better. So I must have it. I'm going to have it. Right now, I'm going to have it. I'm going to eat it all. Maybe not all. Who am I kidding? All right, take a breath. Sometimes it sounds a little silly, right? Like I was about to laugh, which laughing actually is another way of showing release. Yawning, laughing, burping, hiccuping, those are all good signs of release of energy. And I felt like that's what it was because it does, if you think about it, keep tapping right here. It does sound silly, like I can't feel his love if I don't have licorice. Really? But that's what the brain does. It's an association. Remember, it's wired that way. So we have that, those neurons. If you ever looked at like the neurons, it's like it's got its connection, right? Like mind line drawing. And we have connected those two. So what happens when tapping and bringing it up and even laughing at it, like, yeah, that does sound silly, right? That helps break that connection. Because what we want to establish is that the licorice, the sugar, the cravings have their own thing, whereas the love, the loneliness, the stress release is another. Make sense? Take a breath. Notice what came up for you. Let's do another round of tapping. Say your words, whatever your food is, and say what you've brought up from being in that gap. Here we go. So I recognize it does sound a little silly to think that I have to have this food, craving, sugar, chocolate, in order to feel love from my dad, mother, brother, kids. What a connection I've made over the years. Is it possible for me to break that connection? Recognize I can have a cookie or a candy for enjoyment and pleasure, but not to satisfy those longings. It makes it out of balance. And maybe you have to go away for a little bit as you tap to bring it back into balance. But the more you tap, the more you'll break that connection. Because we don't have to have the licorice, the candy, the chocolate to feel loved from our loved ones. We can feel that all on our own by just opening our hearts. We don't have to eat it. Do we? No, we don't. We can thank that memory. And by offering gratitude, it lifts the energy, which opens the heart, which raises a vibration, which shifts it all around. Because we can feel loved all the time. And we can choose better choices of food and leave the sweets and the sugar for once in a while. And once we break that connection, the once in a while can happen. Because I'm choosing to be more mindful, to break the cravings, not turn them into addictions, to find better choices, all while loving myself and those around me even more. Let's come back to the karate chop point. I choose to love and accept myself no matter what. All right, take another breath. Notice how you feel. Stretch up. Left my water upstairs. Stretch up. Get a drink of water if you can. Notice how you're feeling. Did that number come down? Were you able to understand what that connection is? Because that's the most important part. That's what keeps you in the gap. And when we break that gap up and start to create new avenues, you can think of it like that way, but that is what the brain looks like, right? That's what we want to do. So I admit, like sometimes on Friday nights when I come home, I see when I go past fresh fields and I just kind of smile now. I don't give in, right? Pretzels are the same way for me too. So I have to avoid that pretzel. And every once in a while I'll give in. And I'll ask myself, okay, well, what is this about? You're having pretzels. And I acknowledge that I'm having them and I eat them and I try to not eat the whole bag, which I don't. I'm much better, but I still have to watch that. So I'm not saying that they're going to go away forever, but when we start to break the connection, we don't have to have the craving. We can still release the stress or hold on to the love, but let the food and the addiction of gotta have it, because I can guarantee you my body is not telling me I need white flour and salt. Maybe the salt, because it is hot down here right now. Maybe the electrolyte salt would be a better idea. There is something about the crunch. All right, so find something else. Celery, carrots, right? Oh, but that's boring. Well, we'll talk about that. That is another chapter about eating for nutrition, and that is very important. Eating for nutrition and recognizing, and I do tap about that in the shower. I eat for nutrition, especially if I feel like I'm not eating healthy. I'm being too busy for myself or something. I eat for nutrition. I drink water to process my energy. Those are other things you could tap on, which I do talk about in the book. So just take a nice deep inhale. Let's do a moment of reframe. Hopefully that scale has come down. We always want to try to get it down to about a 2. Just returning to that vision for a moment. Noticing where those feelings of cravings are for you. And let's switch hands as we go to reframe. Inhaling and exhaling right here at the karate chop. So I recognize I've moved some energy. And I choose to love and accept myself no matter what. So I recognize I might have a little craving somewhere. Not as great. Choose to love and accept myself. But the biggest thing I realize is the connections I've made with food and emotions and stress. That's what I choose to let go of, all while loving myself no matter what. Let's go point to point. I can let this connection go. So I can realize I don't need this connection that keeps the craving. I can create new pathways for the emotions, for the stress, stressing out, not stressing. But it doesn't have to be with food. And I can recognize food for nutrition, let's go ahead and say it, not to cover my emotions. I can break this craving by recognizing this association, by recognizing I can still feel loved, be loved, but I don't need the licorice, the cookies, or even the pretzels to remind me of that. It's a gentle practice with myself every day, thanking these energies for showing up, because they're the habits, and choosing to change them. I can shapeshift my relationship to help me hold the vision that I have set for myself. I hold that vision, all for my highest good. Let's go back to the karate chop, because I choose to love and accept myself no matter what. Release the hands, take a nice deep inhale, and exhale. Close the eyes for a moment. Let all this energy just come in around you. Maybe you feel a little buzzing going on, helping you to process. And now just notice how you feel later today, tonight. Sometimes before we go to bed, we find those cravings. Do a little extra gap tapping. Grounding your energy, taking a moment of gratitude, lifting that vibration. Thank you for showing up, for doing some gap tapping with me. Continuing along this path. Tomorrow, we're going to get into triggers. Things that trigger us. More often than not, that's like work stress, people stress, but things that trigger us, we're going to talk about tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much. To your spirit, namaste. If you're a VIPer, stay on. Stop the recording. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you.